Hello and welcome to step 5 of stage 2. You know exactly what to do by now. Open, step 5, open. Okay, so in this step what we're going to do is we're going to add some phases to this building. At present the building on the left hand side is under existing, and the two buildings, one in the middle and one on the right, are set to new construction. To show you this in further detail, if I go to level 1 in my project browser, if I zoom into these buildings, you'll notice we have two different line styles. One is grey and one is black. If I select the window in the grey, which is on the left hand side, in our properties palette, you'll notice under phasing we have existing. Now if I select the window in the middle building, you'll see here I've selected the window and it says here phasing, phase created, new construction. Now in this particular step we want to select all of this building on the right and make it existing. Now when you select on a level, you only select that level, so to speak. So to show you that in further detail, if I go back to my 3D, I may have selected the outside walls, but I haven't selected anything above level 1 with regards to windows and internal walls, etc. So what we want to do is we want to go to the site plan in the project browser, and we want to pretty much highlight from here to here, from left to right over grid line 3. Now with our shift button you will notice that I have a little minus symbol, and if you press the control button you get a plus symbol. So we want to deselect everything that's on grid line 3 to the middle building. So by holding the shift button and then dragging over just over the wall, it should have been deselected. Now to double check that, if we go to our 3D and if we go down to our sunglasses, and if we go isolate element, we'll be able to double check exactly what we've highlighted. Okay, so now that everything's highlighted, go over to your properties palette and change phase created to existing. You'll get a little warning, but that's fine. Just press Unjoint Elements. Now go back to level 1, click in negative space, and you'll notice that the building on the right is now greyed out and is set to a particular phase. Okay, from here what we're going to do now is we're going to duplicate this view in our project browser. So right click on level 1, we go down to duplicate with view and duplicate with detailing. A new window will open up saying level 1 copy 1. We're going to rename that, so right click over copy 1 and press rename. And what we're going to do is we're going to change it to level 1 with existing plus demo plus new. Once you've done that, click in negative space in your drawing area. So from here the next thing we're going to do is demolish some of these walls. But before we do that, it's always good to check how the wall geometries have been made in other people's models. So if I hover around and see how long and where the wall joins are, I'll know if we're going to run into any problems. Now this particular wall here doesn't seem to join this main wall. You can see this by the little blue dots, and you can see that this particular wall is just like a little nib that's joined to the main wall. That will cause us some problems with regards to demolition drawings. So what is advised is that we select this tiny little wall and we delete it. Little warning was saying unjoint elements, that's fine. Select this longer wall and then drag it to the main wall, and it will say it can't join it, that's fine, unjoin the elements. And this should, in theory, help us with our demolition drawings, because we now know that it's going from one end to the other. So what we're going to do now is we're going to draw a section and check what's going on with this wall. So we go right up to the very top in the quick options bar, choose the section marker, and then from left to right I want you to draw a section in front of that wall then I want you to pull the pull handles down to isolate the wall and then click in negative space. From here I'd like you to go to the 3D tab. Then I want you to put your mouse over the view cube and then right click. I want you to orientate to view along down to sections and then choose section 1. Now what this has done is this has actually created a 3D view of our section, and you'll notice that this section box is exactly the same depth as the section that is in our plan. So if I wanted to bring this out a little bit more, then go to the 3D view, you'll notice our section box has updated. So if I actually make the section box smaller, then go back to our plan, you'll notice that it's got smaller. So going back to our 3D view, let's have a look at this wall and what's going on with it. Now to make it easier for us to select certain things, let's go right down to the bottom right and turn on select element by face so there's no red cross. So then we can actually highlight doors and walls a lot quicker. Now on first inspection, we notice that the first floor and second floor seems to be the same wall that goes all the way up. This is fine in some circumstances and bad in other circumstances, but for now we're just going to try and figure out why there is this little wall that goes all the way from the head of this door to the top of this one. If we were to delete this little wall, we will notice that our doors have been deleted on all 3 floors, and the wall on the first and second floor has been highlighted yellow, and we have a warning that says Unjoint Elements. As soon as we do that, we've kind of mucked up the model. So we don't really want to do this, so let's press Ctrl Z and figure out another way of doing it. So the best way is to highlight these 3 doors, press Ctrl C and then delete them. Then go back to our silly little wall, delete this, the warning will come up, say unjoin. Then we're going to move this wall to the other wall. However, you'll notice that we have a silly little nib as well. So we'll delete that, another warning, unjoint elements. And if we go to the second floor, you'll notice that our wall is here and we have another silly little nib which we will delete because it's hidden in the wall. Now we'll go to this main wall, and if we drag it along so it's in the center of this wall, another warning will come up, which is absolutely fine. Press Unjoint Elements. And if we close this window, so we're back at our 3D, you'll notice that we've closed the geometry. Now because we copied the doors, they are actually saved within our copy clipboard. So if we go up to the Modified tab and then under Clipboard, we pull down the Paste menu and then we go Align to Same Place, all doors will arrive, but they haven't cut the geometry of the wall. Now there's good reason for that. The reason is if we select this door, remember we changed it to Phase Created Existing. Now if we go to our Copy and Pasted doors, you'll see that it's New Construction. So to change those, I want you to select all 3 new pasted doors, go over to the Properties palette and change them to Existing. Once you do that, you'll notice that they cut the existing walls because we made them existing. So going back to our level 1 with existing, demo and new, we're now able to demolish some of our walls. But before we do that, let's go back down to the bottom right and turn back on Select Elements by Face so that there's a red cross across it. From here, go up to the Modified tab, along to the Geometry section and select the hammer for Demolish. What I want you to do is I want you to demolish these walls inside this section of the building. Once you've done that, I want you to go over to your Properties palette, scroll down to the bottom, and we're going to change the phase filter from Show All to Show Previous and New. and then bring your cursor back in, and you'll notice that our walls have disappeared. Now you'll also see on my screen, maybe yours, that the hammer tool is still selected. So to get rid of that, press escape once. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is control our phase filters. So in your properties palette, obviously you know about these phases that I've showed you, where we can show complete, show new, demo, etc, etc. We're going to control these in a different section. So to do that, I'd like you to go to the Manage tab, because what we'll do is we're going to manage our phases, and then along to the right you'll see a little button under its own section called Phases. Click this, a new window will open, and we have 3 tabs. We have existing and new construction, and you can write a description in the existing or a description in the new construction. We have phase filters, which controls what is visible and relates to what's in our properties palette. So for example, we're currently showing show previous, demo and new, and our graphic overrides are overridden, 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 overridden. And you'll notice the next tab is graphic overrides. So this is what's controlling it. So if we go to graphic overrides, these are the graphic attributes of what we're currently seeing in level 1, existing, demo and new. So we can actually change this. So if I bring it just slightly out of the view so you can see the drawing. So as you can see, the existing, our line weights are greyed out, which is fine, we know this anyway. But we can actually create a pattern to show what's existing and demolished in colours. So let's go to the cut pattern. At the moment it says hidden because nothing is selected. If we select the word hidden, another window will open, and what we want to do is we want to tick it to be visible for the foreground, and we're going to select the little down arrow and choose solid fill. And as this is existing, why don't we just make it a blue colour? Press OK, and then press OK, and then what we're going to do is press apply, and you'll notice that all our walls have gone blue. Now let's just do this for the demolition as well. So demolition says hidden, so let's select this, make it visible, let's choose a solid fill just for the example, and what we're going to do is we're going to choose it to make it red, and then press OK, and then press OK and press apply. You think, well hang on a sec, why is it not showing red? Well, that's because our view is not set to showing demolition. So once you've done that, I'd like you to press OK, and then going back to our properties palette, back down to the phasing. If we select show demo and new, you will see that our demolition walls are red and our existing walls are blue and our proposed are black. Now obviously it's now affected all of the buildings, which is not great, but this is only an example which can be very helpful for the builders on site to know exactly what walls they're demolishing. Okay, I want you to press Ctrl Z once, Ctrl Z twice, so we're back to the grey wall line types that we've got in our phase filters. Now there's one other thing to remember about phase filters, is that you can apply them to all views. So let's say that you've got 4 floors with existing, demo and new. You can actually control that when you apply a view template. So to remind you of that, under the properties palette you have a little button that says view template, and we can choose any particular template that we've created. So for example, let's just say architectural plan, and you'll notice this is the visibility graphics option, and you'll see here phase filters, and it's set to show all. But obviously you can then change that to show demo and new and then apply once the view template has been applied to the view. But for the moment we're just going to cancel this. So the next thing we're going to do is add some interior exhibition walls. So to do that, I'd like you to go up to the architectural tab, the first tool, wall, and then along to your properties palette and choose interior 79mm partition, 1 hour fire rating. And I pretty much want you to follow what I have on the screen. So from here to here to here, and escape, and then here to here to here, and escape, and then a zigzag from here to here to here, then escape, and then escape again to finish the command. Now if we slightly interrogate these new 3 partitions for an exhibition space, you'll notice that the colour is black lines. That's obviously because when you do brand new wall drawings, they will automatically go into new construction. So if you go down to your phases and your properties palette, you'll see that the phase is new construction. And again, you can change the graphic attributes of this under the modified tab under phases. So the next thing I want you to do is draw a new section, but as we've already got a section that's currently within our model, we can actually rotate this. So if you select it, the user interface will go green, and if we go to the rotate tool, it will automatically go to the center, which is absolutely fine. And if we click on the left and then go 90 degrees up and then click again, and then if we drag it to the other side and then we get the pull handles and pull it down and then pull it up, and if we pull this slightly out so we isolate that wall, and then if we click in negative space and then double click on the section head, we have now entered into our section. Now from here I would like you to close the level 1 existing and demo new tab, as well as the site tab and level 1, then press WT and ZA so you can see exactly what's going on. However, you will notice that in the 3D view our section has not updated. So to do this, hover over the view cube, right click, orientate to view, then back to section, and then section 1, and our 3D will automatically update. And you can just rotate that and you'll see exactly what's going on. However, the closer you look, the more you realise that it doesn't look like the section that we've currently drawn. That's because we are still under temporary hide isolate. So go down to your sunglasses and press reset temporary hide, and you will notice that our 3D section is identical to that of section 1. Now the next thing we're going to do within our 3D section is change the phase filter. So under your properties palette, go down to phase filter and we'll change it to show previous and new, and then bring your cursor back in, and if we rotate it a little bit, you'll notice that the whole of the existing part of the building has all been greyed out. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a structural opening within our existing wall, and there are 2 ways of doing that. So I'm going to show you both. So go back to level 1 with existing and demo and new and double click on that. Now press WT and we'll have all 3 windows open. So if we zoom into our plan and then zoom into the ground floor of our 3D. Now in our plan and under the architectural tab and along to the right under the section under openings, we're going to select wall. And if we zoom in slightly to this area here of our plan, this actually requires 3 clicks. So we select the wall with 1 click, and the next 2 clicks is going to be the opening. So you click once on the wall again and then move down and then click again, and in our 3D as well as on our plan we have a brand new opening. Once you've done that, press escape twice. The other option is to do it within the 3D view. So click in your 3D view under the architectural tab, back to the same tool, openings, wall, and then go into your 3D view, select the wall once, then click again, and then click again to create an opening. Once you've done that, press escape twice, and then maximize your 3D by pressing TW on your keyboard. Now within this view you can actually control each opening with its individual pull handles. So you can go to the right hand side of the view cube and you can drag, you can change widths and heights, and you can also even duplicate. So if I make this small, I can go up to my modified tab, which is currently green, use the copy tool and move it along and create additional openings. Okay, from here I want you to close level 1, then WT and then ZA to see both windows, and then in the 3D view I want you to rotate it so it's on the left hand side of the view cube, so your section and your 3D section is identical. Now the next thing we're going to do is show you a different way of making openings in the opposite building, in our new building, so that they connect to the existing building. And to do that we're actually going to sketch a particular funny shape into this wall. Now we have two ways of doing that. Again, we can do it in the 3D or we can do it in the section, but for now we're going to do it in the section, and I want you to select the back wall. So to do that, go down to the bottom right, select element by faces, select the wall, and we have two ways of entering the sketch mode. We can either go up to the green user interface and press edit profile, or we can actually double click on the wall to enter the sketch mode so you see your purple lines. From here we're going to go up to the line tool, and we're going to make sure that in our options bar that chain is selected. From here, just zoom in slightly to the ground floor, and we're going to start on the bottom line, go up, click once, and then go up, and do a bit of a crazy design around our 3 grey openings that we've got on the other wall. And once you've done that, I want you to go back to the baseline, and you'll notice that it automatically ends the sketch. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a closed chain of lines, because at the moment there's a line at the bottom that needs to be split. So to do that, go up to the Modify tab. Under the Modify section, I want you to select the little button that says Split Element, and then zoom in slightly, and then where you see the intersection lines and the baseline is blue, click once, and then go over to the other side and then click again, and we have now separated the lines. Then press escape twice to exit the command, select that blue line, and then press delete. And once you've done that, I want you to press the green tick, and you will notice in section and in our 3D section our new created opening. Okay, so that concludes everything in our 5th step. I would like you to close section 1 and close the 3D view and do not save.